Emma?
Figure out the values for the x squared to minus 6 and see what fits in. Bring it down to 0.
Okay, can you explain that a little bit more? What?
Say if you take minus 3 and you put it in for the x's.
Okay, so we're putting minus 3 in for all the x's. Then according to the factor theorem, it should equal 0. So the factor theorem says if you plug in that value, and it is a factor, you should have it equal to 0. And this question in A says, we want it to be a factor, so if we want it to be a factor, then plug in minus 3 will give us 0 as an answer. Now looking at our expression or our equation that we just made, can you see that there's only one variable that we don't know? We just don't know b. We can simplify everything else. This is going to be minus 27b. Multiplying this all out, minus 18, minus 3, minus 6 will be minus 9 equals 0. So you get negative 27b. Move this minus 27 to the other side by adding 27 to both sides. And you find out that b is equal to negative 1. Another way to do this question, this is doing this question with the factor theorem, right? And one way to find out if something is a factor is to plug in the value, and if you get it equal to 0, then you know it's a factor. We also know we can find out what the remainder is of an expression by using synthetic division. So this question can also be solved using synthetic division. I liked what we did here first. This would be, if I would say one method over another, I would say this first thing that we did is a preferable method in what the textbook and what, when they design questions like that, how they would expect you to do it. But using synthetic division on this one also works, and I've had some students in the past really like this. Wow. So using synthetic division, normally you put in the numbers, but now we have a b, so I'm going to do that anyways. b minus 2, and then plus 1 and minus 6. A little review of synthetic division. We're dividing by x plus 3, so in synthetic division you would have a minus 3 here. This is how synthetic division starts, but there's also something that we know. We want, in the end, the remainder to be 0. So it doesn't really work to start with this b, because the first step would be to bring down this and put a b down there, but then we'd have a variable all the way through. Yes?
So you do it in reverse then?
So since we know the final answer is 0, we could do it in reverse. If this is 0, what has to be here? A 6. And if there's a 6 here, and we had a minus 3 here, remember, in synthetic division, whatever number you would have here gets multiplied by that minus 3 to get you that number. So right in that spot would have to be a negative 2. Well, how do I get that negative 2? I got it by adding. So what number would have to be here in order to get negative 2? Negative 3. And then backwards again, here you'd have a 1. Then here you would have a 3. And in order to get a 3 here you would have to have a negative 1. And you find out that b has to be negative 1. So that's another way to do it. Now, this method works best when there's only one value to solve. When you try b on your own for homework, you notice how there's a d here and a d there. It'll make it a little bit more difficult if you use the synthetic division, and the first method will work best. But if you only have one variable that you're trying to solve for in there, then both methods work very well. You can either work backwards or use the factor theorem.